In this next segment, I will be discussing the different treatments for hepatitis B, as well as ways that it can be prevented and some facts regarding hepatitis B. Treatments for hepatitis B vary due to the severity of HBV contracted. For acute hepatitis, there is no medical treatment. Most healthy adults will recover and develop antibodies to protect the body against future HBV infections. It is recommended that those who have acute HBV get plenty of bed rest, drink plenty of fluids, and eat healthy foods. It is also recommended that your doctor, to ensure that your HBV infection does not become chronic, does regular blood tests. Only 5 to 10% of adults in the U.S. with acute HBV will develop chronic HBV, meaning that the infection has lasted more than 6 months. Treatments for chronic HBV include antiviral medications, oral and injectable, as well as home treatments that involve rest, high fluid intake, and a healthy diet. In regards to oral medications, they should be taken every day at or around the same time. If a dose is missed or if doses are stopped prematurely, serious complications may occur. If your dose is missed, the virus may become resistant to the medication. If your dose is stopped prematurely, the HBV viral load and liver enzymes may increase, causing severe liver damage and cirrhosis. Common side effects of HBV oral medications are nausea, vomiting, fatigue, loss of appetite, dark urine, jaundice, and headaches. Serious side effects for the medications include kidney problems, lactic acidosis, problems with the liver, muscles, and nerves, as well as inflammation of the pancreas. If left untreated, HBV can cause liver cancer, liver failure, and death. Therefore, blood tests are very important to help control and monitor HBV. Prevention. Since HBV is transmitted through contact with blood, semen, and other bodily fluids, prevention starts by protecting yourself and avoiding contact with these fluids in people who are already infected with HBV. If it is impossible to avoid someone who is infected, maybe they live in the same household, there are many things that you can do to help protect yourself. If sex is involved, always use protection and get tested regularly, definitely if there are multiple partners. Never share drug needles, as well as razors, toothbrushes, and hairbrushes. Those that work in healthcare should take special precaution when dealing with bodily fluid samples. They should always wear gloves, eye protection, and masks. Special precaution should be made when traveling to countries where HBV is common. Such countries are Central and Southeast Asia, Africa, and Eastern Europe. In 1982, a vaccine was developed for HBV, and it is recommended for everyone, especially infants and those that travel frequently. The vaccination process consists of 3 to 4 shots over a 6-month period. The HBV vaccine is proven to be extremely effective. Greater than 90% of infants, children, and adults who have been vaccinated have been protected from being infected by HBV. I'm now going to show a video that shows how vaccinations work in the body in stimulating an immune response.
If your body becomes infected by a pathogen, the white blood cells circulating in the blood go through a trial and error period to determine the best way to kill the organisms. During this period, the body is sick with symptoms of the illness. When the white blood cells determine how to destroy it, they create memory cells to handle future attacks of that same pathogen. Vaccination is a way to trigger the body's immune response without becoming sick. The vaccine contains weak or dead organisms that usually do not cause illness. The body is able to destroy the pathogen in the vaccine and produce memory cells. When the body develops immunity to a specific pathogen, immunization has occurred. If the body is ever exposed to the same pathogen in the future, the memory cells react quickly without a trial and error period. This allows the body to destroy the pathogen efficiently before it can cause illness.
The HBV vaccine is so effective because it is a recombinant subunit vaccine. What this means is instead of the entire microbe, subunit vaccines include only the antigens that best stimulate the immune system. In some cases, these vaccines use epitopes, the very specific parts of the antigen that antibodies or T cells recognize and bind to. Because the subunit vaccines contain only the essential antigens and not all of the other molecules that make up the microbe, the chances of adverse reactions to the vaccine are low. Scientists developed the vaccine by inserting hepatitis B genes that code for important antigens into common baker's yeast. The yeast then produced the antigens, with which the scientists collected and purified for the use of the vaccine. Some facts regarding hepatitis B. Hepatitis B is the most common serious liver infection in the world. It is 100 times more infectious than AIDS, and worldwide, 10 to 30 million people will be infected this year. 400 million are already infected, and there will be 100 million deaths this year caused by hepatitis B. In the U.S., 100,000 will become infected this year. 1.25 million are already infected, and there will be around 5,000 to 6,000 deaths this year because of the HBV virus. Luckily, these numbers have gone down, and hopefully will continue to decrease. There has been a decrease of 82% of chronic cases of hepatitis B since 1990 because of the vaccination of newborns and children.